A diverse mix of voices leads to better discussions, decisions, and outcomes for everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Specialist Edwards, and today I'll be going over a brief about why diversity is important to the U.S. Army. Today's overall classification is unclassified. The reason for this briefing is to educate you on the importance of diversity in the U.S. Army and why it is the U.S. Army's strength. Topics on today's agenda are what makes the U.S. Army diverse, leadership at diversity, diversity in employment, demographics of our military. Those will all be covered today. Various backgrounds and cultures are the driving force behind diversity of the U.S. Army. Diversity can lead to better decision making and problem solving, therefore resulting in more missions won, which is what we're all after, right? We all want to win more missions. The diversity in leadership has broadened in the U.S. Army as a whole. Demographically, the U.S. Army employs more diversity than most companies across the nation. That's pretty good bragging rights. What makes the U.S. Army diverse? Well, here are two ways to think about diversity. Internal diversity, which covers race, sexual orientation, gender identity, and national origin. The second way is external diversity. Examples of it include personal interest, education, religious beliefs, and life experiences. Diversity leads to better decision making and wins even the most challenging battles. The need for diversity is critical if you look at the power it can create, and this is what makes diversity important in the U.S. Army. Diverse leadership in the U.S. Army. The history of the U.S. Army has adapted and evolved to a more diverse group of soldiers from various economic and religious backgrounds. History shows us that not all soldiers were always treated equally. Maybe they were refused to promote. Maybe they didn't get paid equally. Some weren't allowed to hold leadership roles at all based on their ethnicity. Today's active duty military is smaller and more racially and ethnically diverse than any previous generation before it. All soldiers are eligible to advance in leadership roles, no matter the ethnicity, religious belief, their gender identity. It doesn't matter. We're all equal here. Besides rank, of course. Not only has the U.S. Army molded into a more diverse organization, but they have also developed a more diverse group of leadership. By having a more diverse group of leadership in the officers' ranks and the non-commissioned officers' ranks, we're more able to understand our lower enlisted soldiers. We're able to relate with those lower enlisted soldiers, which makes us a better team overall. Leadership roles are seen as an incentive to young soldiers. It shows them that they can achieve a leadership position despite their cultural background or their religious background, whatever the case may be. U.S. Army diversity in employment. Why would that be important? Well, the U.S. Army employs a more diverse group than most other companies in the country. By recruiting and retaining soldiers from a broader representation, national values are more likely to be upheld. Continued initiatives such as recruiting bonuses, college tuition, medical, things like that, improve diversity inclusion in the U.S. Army today. The U.S. Army flourishes in the aspects of demographical and cultural diversity. This is because of the U.S. Army's core values: loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, personal courage. These are all things we know. The U.S. Army is also making strides towards more gender diversity and the ability for advancements into more leadership positions. Demographics in our military. The United States is the greatest nation in the world because of the freedoms which we are given. Because of that, soldiers who fight for our country must be the best representation of our country. Our demographics as a nation continue to progress more diversely. As you can see from the chart here, if you look at where the U.S. was in 2019, the white demographic made up 60.4% of the population. But by 2060, the demographic is projected to decrease to 43.6%. Recruiting and retaining diversity will allow the U.S. Army to adapt and evolve with the nation's demographics. Excuse me. Overall, today's summary: diversity makes our U.S. Army a stronger fighting force. By combining soldiers from different walks of life and different backgrounds, the U.S. Army continues to evolve and mold to grow leadership consisting of more diversity than ever before. By employing more diverse individuals than any other organization, the U.S. Army has an advantage over its competition. The U.S. Army must continue to retain and recruit diversity to adapt to our ever-changing nation. Are there any questions, comments, or concerns today? This concludes my brief.